Okay, so here's a fairly quick video on how to make your own ghee. First, you need 2 packets of butter. Ideally, you want some kind of organic, grass-fed, that kind of nice stuff butter. If not, any kind of unsalted butter will do. The better the quality, the better the ghee will be. As I'm in the Philippines, organic butter is almost impossible to come by, so you make do with the best you have. So what you want to do is empty 2 blocks into the old saucepan, and then you want to turn the gas on. Bear with me a moment. Multitasking. There we go, just singe my arm hairs off. Okay, now you leave this in here. The heat doesn't have to be incredibly high. You want a kind of medium heat. And then you just start stirring it. Something like a wooden spoon, a plastic spoon, anything that you can use. Just let it slowly dissolve away. Now the whole process will take probably around about between 15 to 20 minutes. There you can see the butter is starting to melt. Try and stay out the light. So basically just let it do its thing. Let it melt slowly over time. Make sure you keep an eye on it as well, just in case it starts to burn, because if you burn then you'll ruin it and then you have to start the whole process all over again. So I'll come back to this once it's all melted so you can see the general consistency. At the 10-minute mark, you can see the kind of white froth appearing. If you look down further in, you can see the solids on the bottom. Essentially what you're waiting for, oh no, I've steamed up the camera. What you're waiting for is for the solids to rise to the top. Maybe another 10 minutes, I'll start scooping them off of the top. You can do it whenever you want. You could even do it now if you really wanted. But you basically want everything on the bottom to rise to the surface. That's separating the milk solids from the main mixture. And basically, most of the froth has disappeared. So at this point you want to turn the heat down so it's just lower than normal. Otherwise you can burn the ghee and then it tastes really funky and you don't want that. So just turn the heat down and then give it maybe another 5 to 10 minutes, making sure you keep an eye on it. You want it to be clear all the way through. And it's turned this gold colour, which is the colour that you want. And to test if it's ready or not, you get some water. So I've got this cup here, and you just pour a tiny amount of water into the cup, into the pot. So you hear that crackling? That's the kind of noise that you need to hear for it to be ready. So it's not quite ready, a couple of more minutes and I think it'll be right, because normally it's a bit more aggressive, but it's more or less there. So I'll come back when it's done. Either that or the ghee will be burnt, and this will all be a pointless exercise. More water. Okay, so that's the result that we want. Much more vibrant. And if this scum, you can cut it off. But this is the basic reaction you want. You want it to go a bit more crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it off. If there's any froth on the top, you can scoop it out with whatever implement you find. Okay, now here's the next action. You take this ghee over to your bowl. So I'm using a tea strainer to pour it into. Now this could create a mess because I've only got one hand here, but essentially you want to pour it gently into the tea strainer. Now you can use any kind of straining device, but it needs to be quite fine, because otherwise you can get molecules and grains of the milk solids seeping through. As you can see in the bottom there, you can see the little grains. Now some of these are going to get through, so I'm going to strain this maybe one more time. and you can see all the sediment in the bottom of the tea strainer. So any kind of strain device you've got, and basically I'm going to strain this one more time just to make sure that there's not much sediment in the main mixture, and then show you the finished product. Very nice end product. Probably like first time that's ever happened, where basically there's not that much sediment in the bottom, and it all sinks to the bottom anyway. So you can easily just avoid that if you're not into using it. Now you can either leave it in a liquid format, leave it to cool, cover it, place it to one side, keep it at room temperature, and you can use it in this form. Or what I'm going to do, stick it in the fridge. A couple of hours later it'll solidify, and it'll become like a golden yellowy color. Looks like a more translucent kind of butter, and is much more manageable in that form. If you want to keep it liquid, keep it liquid. If you want it solid, have it solid. Have it however you want to have it. But that's your ghee made, and I'll show you the solid version later on. Ghee stuck in the fridge. So now it's gone all lovely and solid for you to mix up into your shakes or eat however you like. Tasty.